Okay. So, hello everyone. We're happy to have you again in one of our new actually our first webinar in the year of 2025. Um, Today we have very innovative company and technology provider that will join us in the webinar, and we'll have the chance to explore their technologies, and we'll have the chance to chat with them and ask them some tough questions to learn how they make things different and why they are transforming the industry as we speak. So we'll wait for probably a couple of minutes or maybe a minute. We'll just wait for a minute for people to join, and then we will start our webinar. We're happy to have you. We're excited to have you engaged in this webinar. Please feel free to ask questions and leave comments. I'll make sure that those questions and comments are addressed and answered. We'll be happy to get you engaged with the panelists too. We want it to be a very interactive discussion and very interactive webinar as always. We promise you a very useful and beneficial webinar. We will learn a lot today. We're happy to have you in the first webinar of the year. We will explore cybersecurity trends together, and we will have detailed talks with the team from SyncDog, the company that's transforming the entire concept of enterprise mobility security, next generation MDM, whatever you want to call it. We'll explore those terminologies shortly. Okay. Okay, I think we can start. It's already time. So uh, we will start by just having a quick round of an introduction. So the agenda for today is that we'll have a round of introduction. Then I will provide some insights on how we see what we see in 2020 as the trends of cybersecurity and what we believe customers should be taken into considerations for their defense strategies and what's happening with the industry today. And then we will have the SyncDog team to present and demonstrate their products and technologies. And then we will have questions and answers. And please use the webinar's Q&A or chat if you would prefer the Q&A section, but we can do the chat also. Let's make sure that we're allowing everyone to ask questions. Just give me a second. Okay, so that you can engage. Get this enable Q&A. Small thing. I think, yeah, everyone is enabled. Everyone can ask questions and we can reactions. Okay. And yeah, I think we're good. Great. Okay, so 2020, 2025, when it comes to cybersecurity trends, or I would say as an extension to what happened in 2024, we've seen some, in my opinion, some key moments that are going to define the coming few years of how we address cybersecurity. Definitely, the introduction of AI attacks, AI phishing is probably the top thing that we have today with artificial intelligence. You can send really, really, really good email messages and WhatsApp messages that could trick users into clicking on links. They look really good. They look really authentic. They look really from one that you know. And this could lead to massive increase in phishing attacks. That's definitely a major thing. But in my opinion, it's not only that. In my opinion, what's happening is that ransomware malware is getting harder and harder every day to detect and respond to. And it's not because technology vendors today cannot provide the right technologies with the major enhancement that we have with EDRs, the detection capabilities of behavior and behavioral analysis has reached like levels that we've never seen before with the introduction of machine learning, AI, and everything else. It's just the job is too hard to manage, and it's too hard for the defense teams, for the blue teams to deal with. I'm going to share my screen and I'll share a few links that I have prepared for today's discussion, just to give you insights of how hard it is today to deal with attacks and ransomware in general. And then we will explore recommendations of what should be taken into consideration when you plan your or you put a strategy of how you want to deal with your exposure to attacks and the best way to move forward when it comes with your planning. So let me share my screen and just go through some of the links. So if you just simply, let me move the Zoom link. Sorry. Okay. Uh, Today, if you go to Google and search for how many new malware we get everything, just do that search. Malware we get per day. Like if we go to this search, look at this scary number. Oh yeah, it's even less than last year. But anyways, the estimation is around that we're having. That's from A/B tests, and I think some other estimates. Yeah, like this one from malware statistics. We estimate around 500,000 plus. That could be like, I don't know, 560,000 new pieces of malware that are being released every single day today. This is a massive number. That's every single day. Multiply this by 30 days, multiply by 12 months, and get that humongous number, that scary number. If 1% only from these new pieces of malware that are being released every single day, that are being delivered to you either by a phishing email or by a malicious website or man-in-the-middle attacks or by any means, they're delivered to you by any means. If 1% only from this huge number of new malware pieces every single day comes with advanced tactics, techniques and tactics and procedures, TTPs, this is enormous. This means that we have hundreds of attacks every single day that are unstoppable, that no one else on earth, no detection methods or detection algorithms can detect or stop. It's way beyond the challenges that we had few years ago when we were talking about 0-day attacks or 0-hour attacks, whatever you want to call them. These are unstoppable. That 1% or 0.5% of these 500,000 new pieces of malware that are pushed to the internet every single day, they are not stoppable. If you are unlucky, if you're the unlucky customer or partner that what you got that malware just passing by your digital infrastructure, it's a 100% guaranteed success. It's a 100% damage that will happen to your network. So detection today is definitely not the best strategy. As I guess Forbes said once, they said it even in 2021. They said if your defense strategy today is detection first strategy, which means that you have to detect a malware or you have to detect a bad behavior before you block it, then that's a failing strategy. And I agree with that because no matter what you do, there's no way that you can do 100% detection. And that's why we see today a major transformation from, or actually, it's not transformation. It's a major it's a major departure of how we protect our digital infrastructures, moving from detection-based methodologies and algorithms into what we call today protection without detection, which is having your last mile or last line of defense, last soldier on the battlefield, the last line of protection that can stop the attack, even if your EDR fails, next generation AV fails, your firewalls fail, all of those detection-based technologies fail to detect the malware and ransomware. You must have a last line of protection. And that last line of protection must not be detection based. Detection today is kind of over, is exactly like 12 years ago when Gartner introduced the concept of endpoint detection and response. Um, uh, at that time, signature-based protection was over. It didn't work. So the AVs, Symantec, McAfee, and all of the famous AVs we had in the last decade, we were not able they were not able to provide enough protection for your digital infrastructure. We're today at the same level of risk dealing with detection-based technologies. I forgot, apologies, I started the webinar topic directly. I forgot to introduce our guests today. So we have two distinguished guests from SyncDog. SyncDog is a technology vendor that does make a unique technology and a disrupting technology that's transforming the concept of enterprise mobility security. Apologies, I forgot to introduce you guys. So we got Jonas and Ted joining us, and Brian from the team. We will talk to them shortly. And I have my colleagues also from the Logics, Diana, Soman, and Shobaki from the marketing team and the business development team. Apologies for that, guys. Going back to the topic. So the first thing is detection doesn't work anymore, which means that you have to have a major transformation of how you protect your digital infrastructure, and you cannot depend on detection tools alone anymore. Doesn't mean that they're going to be removed from your digital posture and your protection controls. No, you still have them. It's exactly like you still have the firewalls. Do you think that if you have the best firewall on earth, you will be able to protect your digital infrastructure from ransomware today? The answer is no. Um, it's not because Palo Alto is bad or Fortinet is bad or I don't know, Protallion is bad. No, they're good firewalls. The problem is in firewalling. Firewalling is not enough today to deal with challenges that come with modern ransomware and malware. Ransomware and malware today come with techniques and tactics, procedures that traditional firewalls cannot deal with. Today, they come with techniques, tactics, and procedures that detection tools cannot deal with. You can probably protect a block, I don't know, 97% of the attacks using a traditional EDR. The remaining 3% or 2% of the attacks that the traditional detection-based tool cannot stop are causing today a successful ransomware attack every 11 seconds. So every 11 seconds today, we have a successful ransomware attack. That's why we get the new generation of endpoint protection tools such as XCDM or Halcyon, or I forgot the name. There's a third company that are trying to provide you with the answer of how you get e protection without detection, your last line of defense, where like XCDM does do that. They do it through what we call kernel level API virtualization. So the moment you install the XCDM client, it goes down to the kernel of your operating system. It does prevent anything to reach your kernel because everything has to go down to the kernel to execute. And it gives you virtual copies of that kernel so that you don't have, if that's unknown. So by default, it is a deny. It's zero trust by default. And but at the same time, with zero trust doesn't block it from working. So imagine you isolate the malware. You don't know yet it's a malware because it's to you unknown, and yet you allow it to work. If it's a Word file, you still work with it. You still continue changing the font, inserting images, I don't know, finishing work and day-to-day work as usual, but it is isolated from day zero before the malware even executes. That's like they use that technology and they have a patent for that. Halcyon does it from the I would say from recovery angle. So when you install the Health Sign client, it keeps an eye on the certificate manager of your let's say Windows operating system. So if any ransomware tries to create certificates and starts working on encrypting your hard disk, it will be able to recover from that. It's not an entire prevention tool. It's like a combination of recovery and prevention, and they managed to work with the process critical resource from your kernel. It's not like XCDM. XCDM does control all the 7 or 8 critical resources of your kernel, but Halcyon works with the process manager only, and they try to by keeping an eye on anything that tries to do encryption, anything that has a certificate there. So it's no matter how you do it, it's a new wave of technologies that address the challenges of ransomware today. EDR, we still have it. That's not going to be enough. Next generation AV, we'll still have it. It's not going to be enough. And that's why we'll have other technologies to help, or other approaches, I would say, to help. Today, uh, like this is how ridiculous it is. Today, GPT is being used. Like if you see this article, June 2023, Chat GPT is used today to mutate malware to evade detection by EDR. So now hackers, when they push their EDR, they push their malware and gets detected, they go back to GPT to change the functions in the code so that it can evade detection. And OpenAI, like a few months ago, they admitted that yes, their service is being used to mutate malware. This is how tough it became for EDR vendors to be able to deal with such attacks. For example, this is about Trend Micro specific, but it's not specific to Trend Micro. It's always happening. Like Trend Micro, it happens to Kaspersky, it happens to most of the detection, actually all of them. So they had to deal with attacks. I think they had to deal with mutations that evaded their detection capabilities. I think there are tools there are multiple tools that are being used today by ransomware to kill ADR and to stop the ADR capability to detect the malicious behavior. And if you cannot detect, just let it go. It will allow it to execute, and it will allow it to touch the critical resources of your kernel, and then it will cause you the damage. The new approach is no, we don't allow you to touch the EDR, even if you are the best, our critical resources, even if you are the best application on earth, the best script or PowerShell command or whatever you are, even if you are the best, as long as we don't know you, you don't touch the critical resources. We give you a copy, a virtual copy of that critical resource from the kernel to deal with. We're not going to stop you from working, so we don't interrupt your business, but we don't trust you. Absolutely, it's zero trust. So there are multiple of them, like multiple okay, like this one yeah, when they use the TDSS killer to disable the EDRs. Yeah, Kaspersky is the one that was affected by that. And again, it's not because I'm not talking specifically about Kaspersky or about Trend Micro or I don't know, CrowdStrike or others. I'm just talking about the entire concept of depending on detection to be able to block attacks. ADR is, I'll not say it's gone, but it's not the most effective today. With with EDR alone, you're still exposed to unacceptable levels of risk to be attacked. So probably that's the first topic. There are lots of other articles that support that, which I can share with you that talk specifically like what happened with this one, talk specifically how they managed to stop detection capabilities and to kill the EDR processes and to evade detection by EDR, multiple of them. Yeah, like ADR silencer like a year ago. And this one was really effective. So there are multiple articles that support the argument that detection today cannot be your strategy for your digital infrastructure protection. It can be a piece of your controls, but it cannot be the ultimate control that provides you the peace of mind if you want to protect your digital infrastructure. So that's the first topic. So whether those attacks or those capabilities come because of they're using AI or because of the spread of using ransomware as a service. I think there was like, which one was it? I guess, yeah, like this one. No, not this one. Not this one. I've got like a detailed article that describes how many how ransomware. I'll share them. I'll share them through my colleague Diana with you guys later. How ransomware as a service is taking the lead today, so they don't even have to spend time in developing their code and building their programs to have that impact on your digital infrastructure. So that's the first topic. Now, whether this is powered because of AI or because of lack of awareness that our employees are not well trained, they don't know how to deal with attacks, whether it is related to supply chain attacks, which grew, I think, by 300% last year, or because of the IoT vulnerabilities that brought a bigger challenge to organizations, or is it because of the cloud security and when you had your teams and workloads separated, not protected within the boundaries of your controls. Whether it is because of that or any reason or any other reason, the point is if your strategy depends on detection before you block the attack, that's a failing strategy, as Forbes said, regardless from where it starts or what kind of infrastructure you cover. So this is the first topic I wanted to share with you. The second topic is um, I probably can do some search also just to give you an idea. So if you go to sorry, if you Google why did Microsoft, sorry, not Microsoft, why did Gartner stop the data loss prevention magic quadrant? You'll find lots of articles and very interesting articles. So Gartner in January 2017, they released their last magic quadrant related to data loss prevention. And the reason why I'm bringing this topic is because today insider threat is considered in 2025 as one of the top challenges, cybersecurity challenges that organizations will face in 2025. And insider threat has major impacts. One of them is definitely related to data loss prevention. So Gartner stopped, I think that if you search, if you Google or go to the images, you'll find the last magic quadrant like in 2017, I guess. Yeah, this one. So after that, they started having market guides and comparisons, and they said, Gartner said, data loss prevention today, at that time, 2017, first of all, it cannot continue doing vendors cannot continue doing what they're doing because data loss prevention is not a management solution anymore. It is a cybersecurity solution. And they said it's not mature enough to serve customers' demands. And they do not have enough tools, cybersecurity tools combined in one platform to deliver what's expected from a data loss prevention system. So and the top tool that's relevant in this story is insider threat management. And the reason why is because the documents do not leak by themselves. They leak because someone from within the organization decided to leak these documents. If you hire me today and you give me a corporate laptop and you give me access to PDF files, Excel sheets, or Word files, whatever those documents are, and some of these documents are secret, are classified documents, then these documents will not leak unless I have the intention to leak them. So insider threat management today is a major piece of how you control data loss prevention. That's one thing. The second thing is, and Gartner mentioned that is the exit channels today are way more complex. Like 7 years ago, 2017 is like almost 7 years ago. So, and exit channels or leakage channels are the channels you use to leak documents. So I don't know, you copy it to USB memory stick, you send it to your personal email, you as an attachment, you I don't know, drop it on Dropbox or on Google Drive or others. But today, if I'm looking, if the document in front of me is a secret document, who can stop me today from taking my mobile phone and taking a photo of that document and then sending it to one of my colleagues using WhatsApp or any messaging platforms? That's an advanced exit channel that traditional data loss prevention tools cannot cover. Who can stop me from, I don't know, reading the document on a phone call? I call my colleagues and I read it to them. That's also an exit channel that traditional systems cannot work with. They tried, like I guess ForcePoint, they tried to work with digital watermark companies such as Data Patrol and Seclor, digital watermark companies that remember in the old days when you used to have a piece of paper and you have something in the background behind the text that's called a watermark to prove that you own that document. They have the same concept today in the digital with the digital document. So you can mark that document as your document. So it belongs to you. It proves that you own it. So they tried to work with digital watermark companies such as I told, Seclor or Data Patrol, and they tried to if that document is marked that it belongs to you, then I come and try to post it on Facebook that they hope that Facebook will block me because this is a marked document, and that fails big time. Didn't work. They were hoping that WhatsApp will stop me from sending it because it's a marked document. That didn't work. We needed innovation of how we handle such problems. And yes, today we do have those innovations. And that's why we have today what we call next generation data loss prevention tools, next generation. And with next generation, you get multiple systems together with one pane of glass to address all of those challenges. So you get insider threat management as part of your DLP. So you as an admin, you will see my score every single day if I'm your employee, my risk score. So it tells you, the tool tells you every single day that he's at 70% risk of leaking documents, 80%. So you go and investigate and they give you that score by watching my digital behavior, like me trying to access servers that I should not be accessing, or me any changes in behavior, and they give you a score based on that, so that the admins can investigate and probably proactively stop me from leaking such documents. That's one thing. Insider threat management is a big thing today in DLP. Exit channels, the new advanced exit channels, like trying to take a photo of the document using your mobile phone. That's Today we have tools such as Zikorion that when you open a secret document, the AI, they have two neural networks that start watching you and watching what you do through the camera. Even if you try to cover the camera with your finger, they can alert the admin, and they start recording your MP3 files of what you when they detect that you're reading from that document, they can save an MP3 file from your audio as a proof that you're trying to leak the document. And the moment it detects the behavior, so the moment I move my mobile phone up, and I think at 0.05, 0.06 seconds with 96% accuracy, depending on the quality of your camera, they immediately lock your laptop, like when you press Control Alt Delete within 0.06 or 0.05 seconds, which is a big thing. For advanced systems, like if you have internal portals and your employees can access secret documents and classified information through these internal portals, you get what we call visual cryptography. So I can open a secret document using my portal, like a web-based application, and through REST API, we get you products such as Blinkly to connect to those portals. And with visual cryptography, if you take a photo of the document, it will take the photo, but it will be blurry. It will not be you will not be able to read it because they mess up how those 60 hertz frames are being delivered to you and how the electronics capture those frames, and they mess up that through the visual cryptography to prevent you. These are like advanced technologies, mainly for large enterprises, for military applications, for intelligence departments, and so on. But the point why I'm bringing this topic is that today data loss prevention has become a huge thing. I've seen one of the top five, I think it's the fifth largest aluminum factory in the world that has deployed every kind of data loss prevention system you can think of, like for email and for documents and everything. And they got the best of the best. And then one of their documents leaked, and they found that it was leaked through someone that connected, a subcontractor that connected to their system from a country that is thousands of miles away from their operation. And yet the document was leaked because of the advanced exit channels that their traditional DLP could not deal with. So that's the second topic I wanted to share with you. The third topic of what I believe is defining how 2025 should be looked at from the cybersecurity point of view and trends point of view is the introduction, probably for the first time, of truly successful AI-based risk management tools, AI-based pen testing tools, and AI-based consultation tools. For the first time ever, you get tools that really work like human beings. Organizations such as banks and governments are probably by law are obliged to use technologies, use services to hire red team companies to try to breach their networks and provide them with lists of vulnerabilities and the systems that they manage to compromise, and submit like those lengthy hundreds of pages kinds of reports with recommendations. Today, we do have truly AI tools that can deliver, that are not just stitching existing Kali Linux tools together and trying to present them as a complete package. So we're not just getting Nmap or whatever other tools, and then we with the Nessus scanner, then we mix them together and we say, well, we have a tool. No, there are tools that are built natively with AI capabilities that learn a lot and they can do major things. Tools such as Ironwood Cyber, I think the product is Enable. I think the name is Enable, if I'm not mistaken. But the company name is it's a great startup company called Ironwood Cyber. Ironwood Cyber does give you AI tools that can perform pen testing for externally or internally. So for external pen testing, you just give them the domain name and you use it as a service, and you can use it anytime. You don't have to like wait to hire someone and then schedule the pen testing. You can use it anytime at a much cheaper rate. So you give them a domain name, and then it does its magic. And what's even more efficient is when you do internal pen testing, and it's as simple as they have the tool and the service ready as a SaaS service. They give you a piece of software, like a tiny piece of software. If I'm not mistaken, it's like 100K kilobytes, and you install it on any device within your network. And that piece of software, once it's installed, it it builds a layer 3, like a WireGuard layer 3 VPN connection back to the SaaS service, and then it starts taking commands. It's a command and control system. So it takes commands and it executes it, and it does everything you can think about from the infrastructure level, and it keeps spreading and showing you outputs and results online. And then you get things such yeah, like color codes, red systems that were compromised. You click on them, then you see what happened and which techniques they use, and so on. It keeps progressing. In 1 hour, it gives you what takes a human pen tester 5 to 10 days to finish, and you get the same technical report. Now, um, I know people tried lots of such pen testing tools, and many of them were disappointing. And that's why I say this is the first time I witnessed a tool that does really deliver what is promised from pen testing point of view, of risk assessment point of view. It gives you in 1 hour, same report you get from a pen tester in 5 days, same lengthy one, showing you the details of systems that were breached, and how they compromise them, and the techniques that you use, and what should be happening, and so on. That's a major thing. And you may say, okay, if I'm an expert pen tester and I've been developing my own tools and don't just use the Kali Linux and tools available. I modified them. I did my things. Yeah, there might be some value you add on top of it, but that takes like 95% of the job. It takes 95%. It's available anytime at a much cheaper rate. You want to find what happened. You go, you get the report, you find your vulnerabilities, you go fix them, you run the test tomorrow, you find if it worked, if your remediation worked or not, and then you keep doing it until you reach to the level that complies with your standards. So that's the third topic. The fourth, and my final topic before I move to the gentleman, is the I want to highlight the importance of um, hardening. Hardening your digital infrastructure, especially for cybersecurity purposes. Um, uh, we all know the famous, CIS benchmark, or against any other benchmark you feel comfortable with, especially today with the mix of cloud systems and on-prem systems, remote workers, and different types of infrastructure components for networking and cybersecurity, and other components. Hardening is a major thing today. If it was one day just a nice job to do, you finish the project, you implement your firewalls, you set your network switches and routers and everything, cloud instances, you do your best, you follow the best practices, and you go and leave it. That's not enough anymore. Unfortunately, today, I would say that's probably the first thing you should do before you think about the next step of your cybersecurity journey. And I know it's a tough job. It cannot be done manually. And that's why today we have tools that help you. And some of them are magical, such as TechHard. They do provide you with, you run the tool, the different ways to run the tools to explore your network and find what you need to harden, let's say against the CIS benchmark. You leave the tool for a couple of days, then it gets back to you listing the configuration problems that you have in your digital infrastructure. And like they compare it to the CIS controls that they need to comply with. And the beautiful thing with some configuration, it gives you the script of what you need to do to fix that problem and to comply with that CIS control at different levels. Not only the infrastructure, even if you have vulnerabilities or something that have to be fixed with your Google Chrome, like a certain update that you have to make sure that certain, I don't know, Google Chrome vulnerability is taken care of, or they give you the script. And for most systems, for many systems actually, you can even automate that fix. It depends on how you manage changes in within your infrastructure, you can let that tool connect your switch, change the configuration to fix that problem and make you compliant with the CIS control that you miss. That's major. In my opinion, hardening is configuration problems. I think in one of the studies that I read, that was a long time ago, but it's still valid, that 80% of such successful attacks that took from that sample that they surveyed could have been stopped if the configuration was done properly. If the configuration was done properly, they could have stopped that attack using their existing tools and controls, but yet they failed because of configuration problems. I personally believe that hardening should be considered big time in your systems and in your future plans. Now, we'll go to the great and amazing SyncDog team. So the fun will start now. Um, SyncDog does a major transformation how you manage your mobile workspace, your mobile employees. In the old days, we used to give employees laptops or mobile devices, and then we allow them to access our workload through mail clients, briefcase, sheets and spreadsheets and whatever, different types of applications, messaging systems, calendars, whatever, contact. You give them access to your workload. And when we gave them corporate owned, corporate operated laptops, that was easy because we just use MDM and we block different types of I don't know, like the USB peripherals. So we prevent them from doing screenshots. We reduce the chances that they will cause a problem, whether that problem is allowing malware into our systems or leaking documents, as I said. But this is not the case anymore. Today, everyone using their personal devices connect to corporate workloads. Today, we have the new concept of corporate owned, personally operated devices where you give me a corporate laptop, you give me a corporate iPad, but I operate it. I install whatever software I need to have to do my job, and I'm connected to your workload, and I'm as a point of risk for your corporate. And then you with everything that comes with bring your own device challenges, with everything that comes with privacy challenges. You cannot, if I'm using my personal device to do my job and to reply to my email messages, you cannot come to my personal device and block me from, I don't know, using my USB memory, or my USB ports, or block me from, I don't know, having a screenshot. You cannot do that. It's my personal phone, but it's still a risk. It's an exposure to attacks. I'm an access point. If I'm connected to your workload, so it's a dilemma. And they tried to fix that by, I don't know, introducing the concept of secure web browsers. So you say, okay, we give you, you can access our workloads, you do it, but you cannot do that unless you have a secure web browser, like the Citrix secure browser. It didn't work. Because not everything can run from that. And I still have native applications on my mobile devices and my personal devices that connect to your workload. So it didn't work. They tried to do application wrapping. So they came and they said, oh, okay, you know what? You use Outlook, you connect to our mail servers, but we wrap your Outlook with a management layer and with cybersecurity layer to make sure that we have our controls and we have our policies deployed and we make sure that you cannot cause harm to the organization. And again, it didn't really work because how many apps are you going to wrap? You need to have APIs and you have to have lots of work to wrap it. Today, the SyncDog team brought the magic stick uh, that fixes all of that. And I'm not going to ruin the surprise, and I'll leave it to the gentlemen to present their technology and demonstrate it. So, gentlemen, Ted, I think, will be our main speaker. So, Ted, please step in and show us the magic.
Sure. No, happy to. Thank you, Matt. I really, really do appreciate it. Pardon me. And thank you, everybody, for joining. the webinar. I want to make this as interactive as possible. So as we start to talk about our solution and introduce our solution, if there are any questions at all, either type them or I don't know, are they able to jump in, Mod, and
We
ask
can,
questions as
yeah,
we
we
go
can,
along?
yeah.
Okay.
Please raise your hand if you wanna interact with Ted and the team. Please raise your hand, and we will let you speak. We'll be happy to have an interactive session. We want to make it different. Want to make it different, as interactive as possible. Please go ahead.
Yeah, yeah, thanks, Mod, and definitely want to make it interactive. So feel free to jump in at any time, ask a question. Our goal is to really give you a good understanding of what we introduce into the marketplace today, and really how it differentiates from other solutions you might currently be using or ones that you've actually heard about that are in the market today. So I'm just going to share. If everybody could just give me a quick second. And did that pop up for everybody? Let me just see. Oh, no,
Not yet, not yet, no.
that should go, right?
Yeah,
Everybody can see that?
yeah, I can see it. Yep.
Okay. So if I start to talk about something and the slides don't change, just shout at me and I'll slow down and wait for the internet to catch up. Sometimes there's a little bit of a lag. So, here at SyncDog, we take a little bit of a unique approach as it relates to mobile devices. So we're really securing the data that's being accessed on a mobile device, whether that be an iPhone, an Android phone, tablets, things of that nature. I'm sure you're all familiar with MDM, and MDM is a great tool if it's used in the right way, but it's really not a cybersecurity solution per se. It's really just enforcing passwords and whitelisting and blacklisting applications, things of that nature. We actually offer an MDM solution, so again, when it's used in the right context, it's an excellent solution. But it's really not doing anything for the data that's being accessed on that device. Right. So our approach is really to secure and encrypt the data that employees may be accessing either on a corporate device or a bring your own device. So, as far as corporate-owned devices, it's always interesting. We've heard a number of times where people say, well, we don't really need that because we have a corporate-owned device. The malware doesn't really take a look at a device and say, oh, let's not hack this device or attack this device because it's corporate-owned. Right? You still have vulnerabilities from different apps that are downloaded and surfing the web and things of that nature. So there's definitely vulnerabilities even in a corporate-owned device because you still want to secure and encrypt that data that employee is accessing, right? You want to secure those files and those applications and the emails and things of that nature. So again, whether it's a corporate-owned device or in a BYOD environment, we're going to secure that data. What really makes us unique, especially in a BYOD environment, is not only the data security part, but really the end user privacy part. So with MDM, you actually have to download an MDM profile on a personal device. And with different regulations from governments around the world, that has become an issue. So we really solve that issue. So in the BYOD environment, not only are we securing that corporate or government data that's being accessed on that device, we're also adhering to end user privacy, right? Because we can't or your admins can't see what's happening on the device on the personal side, right? So we're going to secure and encrypt that data, that corporate or government data that's being accessed on that device, and also adhere to any end user privacy. So I'll just stop there for a quick second to see if there's any questions at all, anything I can expand on a little bit more.
Yeah, and I want to add that I just noticed that chat was not enabled, so please feel. I just enabled it, so you can chat with us, or as I said, you can raise your arm, and if you want to talk to Ted, I will be happy.
Any questions, Mod, or should I keep going?
You can keep going, yeah, please.
Okay.
Just the
Okay.
question.
Yeah, so no, we're really doing BYOD right. So what we offer is better security overall. So it's a FIPS 140-2 certified AES 256-bit encrypted container. So that data that's being accessed, that corporate or government data that's being accessed on that mobile device, is secure and encrypted at all times, both in transit and at rest. What we also do is there's full separation between that corporate or government information that you're accessing on that device and any personal information that may be on that device as well. And we can show you how that works as we sort of walk through a short demo. So simply, the way we do it is it's a single application that you download. So you can get it from the App Store, the Apple Store, the iTunes Store, or the Google Play Store. So it's a single app that you download. Once that app is downloaded and provisioned, when you open that application, what you have is a host of other applications, and these are work-related applications. So your work email, your calendar, contacts, access to OneDrive or Dropbox, file manager. So all your applications that you need to complete your tasks for your job are now housed in this secure encrypted container. So it's a single download, single app that you download. And when you open it, it houses all the other work related. So this is that secure and encrypted environment that we're talking about. Again, I'll stop for a second to see if there's any questions.
If any questions, guys, in the Q&A, or you wanna also engage with Ted, I will be happy to let you in. Ted, I have a question here. So um, to start with, so your focus on mobile devices, that's where your technology really excels. And this means that anything that's Android, iOS, whether it's a mobile device, mobile phone, or it is a iPad or tabs or anything that runs on Android and on iOS, right? Today.
That's correct. Yes.
Correct. And you have a roadmap for laptops like Windows and Mac. Is that in the roadmap too?
That's 100% correct. Yes.
Oh, okay. That's one thing. Second thing is did you have like an estimate of how this the amount of risk those mobile devices are causing today in a work environment to customers or to your mobile workspace? So do you have any studies that mentioned how these are being like compromised, or how those apps are being compromised, or challenges that come from personal side of the mobile phone?
Sure. I mean, there's a number of them. The biggest one is, what you were sort of touching on before, which is data loss, right?
Yes.
So, copying information, taking pictures of certain information, things of that
Yes.
nature. So
Yeah.
that's a major one, right? And that's
Yeah.
one that we hear all the time.
Yes.
So, when you work within the SyncDog Trusted Mobile Workspace, which is a single app that I've been talking about, with all those applications that you see on the right-hand side, which are all your work applications, you can copy and paste amongst these apps within the secure container.
Yes.
Okay. Which it just helps with productivity, right? And like who
Yeah.
doesn't need to, copy something from an email and compose another email, things of that nature. So, but
Correct.
it's all done in the secure and encrypted environment, right?
Yes.
You cannot, however, take information from within the secure and encrypted environment and bring it outside to the
Yes.
personal side of the phone. Okay.
Yes.
Nor can you do the opposite, take something from your Gmail, right? That's outside our encrypted container and bring it into the container. It will not allow that.
Yes.
So
Awesome.
as far as the
Yes.
data loss prevention, that's how we solve that.
That is major, Ted, because no one, at least from the ones I know, none of the existing traditional DLP companies or technology vendors, or the next generation ones, not even Zirconium, like with the ones that detects, the camera, the watches, what you do, and it records when you read the secret document. None of them came up with a good solution for data loss prevention on mobile devices. So if a secret document is sent as an attachment to your corporate email, and then you receive that attachment using your Outlook client or Gmail client on your mobile device, that's it. No one can block it. If you open that document on your mobile device, no one. They tried to do like a workaround where they advise customers to not really share documents. You just keep documents in a cloud shared folder, and you give them access to it. But doesn't work. People will attach documents. They're still sharing documents in a way or another. The moment that secret document reaches to your mobile phone, that's it. It's gone. No one can stop you from leaking it. So what SyncDog does here is a major thing. Like it provides the concept of data loss prevention to the mobile devices. And the great thing is, with the concept of containerization, the container is where you do process level isolation. So things are absolutely isolated. It's not like we're creating two virtual machines. So we still have the same kernel, but we do process level isolation. Their container is AES 256 encrypted. It has its own threat detection capabilities and so on. So whatever documents you deal with within the container will remain within the container. If you're fired to tomorrow or today and the admin just decommission your services, that's it. The container is gone with all the documents, the briefcase, and everything. So it's a great addition to the concept of data loss prevention. But also, you can Google and you can easily find out how many the Android, especially Android, in the last 6 months, there were like hundreds of attacks that happen. And iOS maybe at a lower rate, but there is lots of attacks that happen today. And when you have your workload isolated from the personal applications, you protect your organization, you reduce your risk, you lower your exposure, and that container is capable of locking itself if it detects any threat in the personal side of the mobile phone. It can even wipe out itself if there is a threat detected. Yeah, but please go ahead, Ted.
Yeah, no, and it's important to point out what you mentioned about the containerization, because there are some solutions out there that sort of just they'll isolate work applications, but it's not in a secure and encrypted environment. So just because
Yes.
you put them in a different folder doesn't really give them
Yeah.
encryption and protection of that secure, of that data. It doesn't secure
Yes.
that data. It just
Yes.
looks pretty and it's in a separate area, but that doesn't do anything for the security of your data.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So this is our um, platform as a whole. So, we take a modular solution approach. As I mentioned earlier, we do offer an MDM solution. Again, MDM is an excellent solution if it's used in the right context. But what really sets us apart is what I've talked about here is our trusted mobile workspace. So again, whether it's a corporate-owned device or you're in a BYOD environment for iOS and Android, we can work with you. What's also makes us very unique too in now is whether you choose to work with us in the cloud or on premise, you get full functionality. Because I know there are some instances where if you choose cloud, you don't get full functionality from certain vendors. We take the opposite approach and give you maximum amount of flexibility, whether you want to be on-prem or in the cloud, and you get full functionality. So, and again, we talked a little bit about productivity, pardon me, but there's a full productivity suite that we offer within our platform. So you can view, edit, and create content in different O365 formats. So whether it's Excel, Word, PowerPoint, you need to sign PDFs, things of that nature. Again, it's not only just about the security, because in a lot of instances, when you think about, okay, we're going to add a lot of security, it sort of reduces productivity because you can't access certain types of data or you can't do this, or you can't do that. We take the totally opposite approach, right? We want to give you access to all the data that your organization needs you to complete your tasks. So not only are you using the highest level of security with our solution, but you're also increasing productivity because you're going to be able to access anything that you need to access in a secure and encrypted environment. So I'll just stop there for a second to see if there's any questions at all.
If there's any questions, guys, we can engage you. Anything you can type in chat now. I see many of the attendees that, because I think we shared the same joining link, I see all of them with the name of my colleague, Diana. But you still You can change the name if you want. And anyways, if you raise your hand, we'll be happy to talk to you. Okay,
Yeah,
so
if
no
there's
questions?
no
Yeah,
questions, I can sort of just
let's
jump in. I'll give you
go
a little,
to the demo.
pardon me,
Yeah,
a little overview of actually what it looks like on my device. So let me just share that. You give me a quick second. And let me know when that pops up for everybody.
I can see it. Yeah.
Okay. So this is my personal phone. This is our application. So as I mentioned, it's a single application that you download onto your device. And I'm going to Face ID in. So you can either use Face ID or enforce a password, however you want to leverage it. So this is our secure encrypted environment. So I have access to my work email, my calendar, my contacts, OneDrive, Dropbox. We did a special project for a client for Signal so that they could do Signal messaging back and forth within their organization. We also include Chat GTP in here as well as a productivity tool. There's a briefcase in here, and this is a great feature. It's sort of like a SharePoint. So if you need to push out documents to anybody that's using our trusted mobile workspace, HR can send out documents. You can send out sales contracts or different announcements within your organization. Everybody receives it right within the briefcase. There's also a file manager in here. So if you needed to take a look at different documents or have different documents saved to attach them to emails, you have that ability as well. And as I mentioned, there's also an Office suite in here. So Word documents, spreadsheets, presentations, PDFs, things of that nature. So again, it really gives you the ultimate protection that you need for that corporate or government data that's being accessed by a mobile device, but
And
also
all of
enabling your
these
employees.
all of
Go
these
ahead.
apps are ready to use instantly, right? So you can instantly start using your mail, and you just can't. It will be ready in your calendar. Your all of the apps are ready. You don't have to wrap anything or do any API integration or anything, right?
No, that's not necessary whatsoever. As soon as you provision and you give your credentials to connect to your work servers for
Yeah.
your email, calendar, contacts, that loads, and you can start emailing. It takes maybe about a minute, 30 seconds to get the whole thing provisioned. So it's a very simple, quick process. And then you operate in a secure and encrypted environment for your emails or any type of work you're doing. So again, it really helps not only with the security of all the data that's being accessed within this encrypted container, but it's also enhancing productivity because in a lot of cases, what happens, you're out in the field or you say, hey, I'll get to that as soon as I get back to the office, right? Or as soon as I get home and I can get out my laptop. You don't need to do that anymore. So if you're sitting in an airport, you can just, log on and, open your application and start working and get things done. So it
Or
really
just as
enhances
importantly, Ted,
productivity in a really, really secure environment.
and just as importantly, Ted, you could be sitting on the airplane and open your app and get work done. You don't need a VPN connection to make this work. It works offline and online, obviously. Um, and that's a really big differentiator is that lack of a VPN needed because if any of you used a VPN with a mobile device, even that slightest blip in connectivity kicks you out of that VPN connection. You lose what you were working on. So we've solved that problem as well. So a very efficient solution here to again help with both security and productivity.
And to confirm, Ted, so what I'm seeing here is your container. So this mail client is different from the personal mail client that's on my personal side of the mobile phone. That could be Gmail or Outlook or anything, right?
That's correct. Yes. This is within our own container. So
Okay.
this is our own specialized um, mail client. It's not Outlook, but it's our own specialized one that sits within the container. So you access your work information specifically from within this container with this mail application.
Oh, awesome. So for example, if I use the camera app and I take a photo from within the container, this photo will not show in my personal like gallery or photos or my file system.
Yep, that's 100% correct. So that just goes to show you the full separation between the personal side and the work side. So if you do use the camera, it doesn't go into the native side and save the photos there. It has its own images within the container itself. So only when you have this open and you use this camera application here, it stores in its own images. It doesn't go to the native side of the device.
Awesome. And you think like does this cover like 90%, 95% of the applications you need for your day-to-day job?
Yeah, I mean, that's going to depend on your level in the organization, right? And that's where we're really flexible. So there may be some individuals within your organization where they only really need access to email, calendar, and contacts. You can provide that group of individuals with that type of access, right? And then as you sort of go up the food chain into middle management and directors and VPs and higher up, they may need access to more information. So maybe access to OneDrive or maybe access to the Office suite. So you can really tailor it for individuals within the organization based on what type of access they need.
Okay, awesome. So then I understand that you have like commercial bundles, like where you give people only like the basic apps and like mail and calendar. Then you give them more apps in a different bundle, right? Different
Yeah,
licenses.
absolutely. And again, you can have different groups within your organization. So let's just say, for instance, the sales group only really needs access to email, calendar, contact. Let's just say for conversation's sake. And then you have an executive group that needs access to email, calendar, contact, but also, OneDrive and ChatGTP and the Office suite. So you have a separate group. So you can break it into bundles and give individuals the type of access they need based on their job structure. Does that answer your question, Mod?
You're muted, Mod.
So yes, it does. It does answer my question. So it answers the question where is it licensed? Yes, it is licensed, and there you have three types of licenses. So it depends on the number of applications you want to give to your employees. So if they just need the basic stuff, mail and calendar, that's the standard one, and then you move on with depends on your level and the amount of applications you want to use. And this is
That's
licensed
correct.
per device, right? Per user.
Per
Okay.
user, not per device, per user.
Per
And it's
user.
also important. Yeah, and it's also important to point out if an organization has proprietary applications that they want to include within our container to give it, that FIP certification and, all the protections that we offer, that's available as well.
Great. And there was a question about the if they need like third-party new applications to be contained, and Jonas answered this in the questions and answers. So the answer is yes, you can contain new applications using integration within the secure container, and typically takes 1 day of work for the developers to complete this process, but you will then have full security compliance and all of that kind of stuff. So yes, the answer is yes. If there is any specific app that's being used within your organization and you want to contain it, that is possible too. Yeah. Awesome. Please proceed, Ted.
Yeah, so I mean, I'll just stop there to see if anybody has any questions they want me to dive into any elements a little bit deeper. Happy to do that.
Okay, good. I have two comments here, Ted. So the first thing that for people to understand the power of this technology, one, so what we did here is a perfect isolation between personal use and work applications. And that isolation, encrypted with threat detection, ready with applications that you use for day-to-day work, can be provisioned instantly, can be decommissioned instantly. So if you have an organization that has kind of remote workers or workers that where retention is not high, like you keep rotating employees, that's a perfect scenario because you just provision the service to them. If you hire them today, if they leave tomorrow, you just stop it. That's it. Your entire mobile work applications, documents are gone from their devices. That's point number one. Point number two, there's a great innovation with this, because with this container within your mobile device, we don't have to control your device. I don't have to block you from, having screenshot, or I don't have to block any of your peripherals or your ports. You can do whatever you want to do with your personal device or personal side of the mobile device. But the moment you open the container and you start using work applications, then the corporate policy applies, and this checks the compliance requirements. So if whatever policy they have, it complies. And this is a perfect scenario for bring your own device. It's a perfect scenario to comply with privacy laws in our region, or in Europe, or anywhere in the world. It's really the magic stick. It does provide you that perfect isolation without having the corporate to take control of your device. That's point number one. Uh, uh, point number two is the uh, this concept brings in a true enterprise security, mobility security. Is not a traditional MDM anymore. I don't even like to use the terminology MDM. I personally believe that MDM should have been gone 10 years ago. If it wasn't for Microsoft, it would have been gone 10 years ago. But it's not just a traditional MDM. I don't like to call it even next generation MDM. It's a true enterprise mobility security, which means that but just using these containers by itself enhances your security posture. It enhances your security capabilities. It isolates your workload from threats that could come from the personal side of the mobile device, which is a huge thing today, because those mobile devices could be access points to your workload, to your intellectual property, and your documents, and all of that. So it's a true major transformation in how you'd really provide enterprise security, mobility security, right?
Yeah, and it's also important to point out, if you do have somebody who, leaves the organization, you can remotely wipe this container.
Yes.
So everything on the device stays intact except the information within this container. That's what gets wiped. Additionally, if somebody loses a phone, or a phone is stolen and somebody puts the phone in, a Faraday cage or a Faraday bag, whatever the case may be, and it can't connect to the server, for you to wipe it, there's a time bomb policy. So in essence, what will happen is, if this device does not connect within a specified period of time that's set by the admin, the data within this container automatically wipes, whether it connects to the server or it doesn't. It'll wipe it.
Yeah. And go ahead, please.
Omar, I have a question for Ted, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Please, go ahead.
I understand that the container on, let's say, on my mobile for SyncDog is fully encrypted. Nobody can enter it and see what's inside it. Okay, we have a case. It's for law enforcement or something. Eventually, they normally make for testing. If they have, if somebody, I lose my phone and somebody put a USB cable and he take an image of all the phone and install it in another phone, will the container or the SyncDog still working, or it will stop if I change and I take an image and put it in another phone, and will it work?
Like a binary image. Yeah.
Yes, binary image, or make two copies. Let's say I make a copy of my phone to another phone, and both of them is still working. This is another thing. Are they will still working, or you didn't?
Do you link the container to any of the hardware IDs, like the MAC address, or?
So
Yeah,
I'm
I'll
going
ask
to answer
Owen.
that one. Yeah, so you
Yeah.
cannot take an image of the device and move it over to another device. Each image or each instance of the container is unique to that specific device. So there's a multi-part crypto key that's established and generated during provisioning that's unique to each device. So, which helps us in scenarios if you were trying to do brute force attack and, copy off the image and try to put it on a desktop or something like that as well, you will never be able to reassemble that crypto. So it's really part of the core security we're doing to prohibit you from doing those things.
Right.
That's great.
Great.
Thank-
Great answer. Thank you so much. And also for mobile devices, SyncDog also is leading the industry. Probably some big news that will have to be released by the SyncDog team, but they also can provide you secure mobile devices, secure operating systems. I'll leave it to the guys if you want to announce that, but they are also in that side of the industry, especially for law enforcement and military applications and that kind of stuff, okay, for secure communication.
Yeah, Brian and Jonas, did you want to touch on that at all?
Yeah, if you
You're
want
both
to
on-
give like a brief.
You're both on mute. I don't know if one of you is talking.
Yeah, Brian. Yeah, Brian, go ahead.
Yeah, I would say, yeah, mod's on the right track for sure. We're heading down that path aggressively. We're not there yet, so maybe a little bit premature to announce it, but it is definitely a core focus for us to really kind of address all aspects of device usage and ensure that when employees are doing work on their devices, it's going to be secure.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Great. So I think with this, we conclude the webinars today. If there is any questions, guys, we'll be happy to address them. And the webinar was recorded, and we will share the recording with everyone. It will be also on our YouTube channel. We're happy to have all of you also join us in the upcoming webinars. My colleagues will contact you for that. We promise you they will be as good as this one. If there is any question, or we can conclude the webinar.
Yeah, thank you everybody for your time. Appreciate you attending.
Thank you so much, Ted. Thank you, Jonas and Brian and everyone.
Thanks, Mod.
Thanks,
Thank
Thanks,
you.
everyone.
And thanks to the Distillaris team for arranging this. Thanks to the audience. We're happy to always have you. Have a great day. Bye.
You too. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.